You're watching the Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. I'm Faye D'Souza. We're in the city of Chennai today. We've travelled outside our studios in Mumbai because Chennai demands attention from across the country. Just weeks ago, kilometers from where I'm sitting right now, an RTI activist and a whistleblower was hacked to death in broad daylight by a gang of people because he dared to ask questions about illegal construction in the city of Chennai. There are two major problems here in this city. One is the complete lawlessness, the appalling state of affairs, where this is the fifth such murder we've seen in the last couple of months. Just this morning, we saw a young girl being hacked to death in broad daylight in a train station in Chennai. Why is Chennai crumbling into lawlessness? That's the first question we're asking tonight in the Urban Debate. And on the other hand, illegal construction that nearly drowned the city late last year seems to be rampant yet. It seems to have its tentacles down to the bureaucracy, to the police, to the legals and the judicial system, and of course to the state government. I must remind our audience that the state government refused to be part of this conversation. We do not have representation from the government that runs this state. They do not want to be part of this conversation and make themselves accountable. But joining me on this panel to talk about the lawlessness in the city of Chennai and the rampant illegal activity happening in construction, the fact that there is a mafia and a nexus between the government and between the construction industry. On the panel with me this evening, Vishnu Prasad, representing the Congress party. Jayaram Venkatesan, he works with an NGO that fights illegal construction. We have Gopalakrishnan, who's an RTI activist, and Sankar, who's also working with an NGO that fights illegal construction. I want to focus first on the lawlessness. I want to focus first on the murders, on the fact that this is possibly the most gruesome, the most shocking manner in which people are being hacked to death on the street. Vishnu Prasad, what is the state government doing? Why are we in a situation where a young lady goes to work in the morning, is standing at the train station, which seems like a public place, seems like a safe place, an RTI activist going to visit his friend, hacked to death in the middle of the street, hacked to death at a train station. 3 lawyers have lost their lives over land grabbing cases in the last couple of months in the city of Chennai. Chennai is crumbling into lawlessness. What is going wrong?
See, it is basically the enforcement agency which is supposed to do their work has failed to do. And as a congressman, I am very proud to say that this RTI was introduced by our Congress government, by Madam Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi ji. But it is very unfortunate, though this law is being used widely, that is why so many, lawlessness has happened, so many killings have taken place, so many harassments for the whistleblowers. Though in Article 19, Section 1, it is clearly stated that protection has to be given for the freedom of speech. And in Section 27, Part 2, Union government is entitled to direct the state government to implement the scheme powerfully. And the state government also...
has not been implemented in the state of Tamil Nadu.
The state government, the state government also has power under Section 27, Part F, subsection. The state government can implement any laws in order to implement the scheme effectively. Basically, a whistleblower is almost like a policeman without a uniform. He is also called a human rights defender. But unfortunately here, a whistleblower is hacked to death and his life is under threat. It's happening not only in this state, but widely in this country. In that case...
Let's acknowledge the fact that the position right now in this state is precarious when it comes to law and order. That if something like this can happen in broad daylight, the fact that there isn't a larger outcry, that there isn't, there aren't more people upset about something like this happening. As a whistleblower yourself, are you nervous about leaving your house every morning?
I mean, if we are nervous, then we can't do this work. So that way it's fine. But on the other side, yes, the lawlessness is very much there. What we are seeing today is primarily because there is no political will from the top. And on the other side, the entire nexus, most of these deaths happen because of the builder lobby. There is a strong nexus that is there between the builders and the politicians and so on. And therefore, I mean, if something happens, we will have to go to the police. The police is part of this whole thing.
So why are you saying the police is part of the whole thing? Let's take, I want to talk about this case particularly. J Parasmal, who was murdered in the street. What sort of a reaction did the police have? What sort of an investigation have you seen play out so far? If you're saying that the police are involved in cases like this, was there enough action taken on the ground from the police?
See, first of all, there is not enough transparency. But we sent a letter seeking for immediate action. We told them what is the action that you have been taking. They did arrest 6 people almost after a week or so. But point is, there is absolutely no transparency in terms of what kind of action has been taken. What is the evidence that they have captured? They have not come out and said that there was supposed to be a CCTV footage. What happened to the footage? There is absolutely no transparency in terms of investigation. And secondly, most of these people who kill, they know that they can get away with this kind of a killing.
How can they get away with this?
That's what has happened. There are 40 people who have died throughout India. There are 280 people who have been assaulted throughout India for RTI. But none of the people who have killed have actually got convicted in the whole cases. So it clearly shows that there is so much of, and particularly police being the investigating officers. Like I again say that this nexus makes sure that police is the person who has to submit the evidence to the court. And if the evidence is not submitted, of course most of these people will
get away. So you think the corruption now is on the level of the police, is on the level of the courts, is on the level of the prosecution?
Yes, see, there is widespread corruption if you take the lower courts. The lower courts, the police and the builder mafia, and the politicians. So there is a widespread nexus between all these people. That is obviously evident that we are
that politicians and this is something that we've heard in this country, and I want the two of you to also join into this conversation. The politician-developer nexus or the politician-builder nexus, which I think is more than apparent in the city of Chennai, responds to that.
It could be, but the point is there are too many cases. So my suggestion would be, in order to see, we have to go to the root of the case. See, if somebody is hacked in the daylight, obviously today also for Parasmal case, some 6 people have surrendered voluntarily. See, these 6 people are only, the...
Henchman.
Yeah, they are the mercenaries. So, what is the point in arresting a mercenary or putting him on a trial? We should go to the root of the case. So, obviously, there should be some nexus. And where is the provision in this law? There is a provision.
Actually, if you're going to the root of the case, let's ask this question. If Parasmal had filed an RTI against a certain developer, a developer called Ramesh Kumar has now been arrested for this case. How did he know that the RTI was filed against him?
Actually, he has filed an RTI to the only public authority, that is to corporation. He is the public information. That public information has given the details about who is asking this information to the developer.
So you're saying the corporation has called the developer and said such an RTI has been filed about you by this gentleman.
Yeah, you go and ask him,
yes.
Or you do something else. Otherwise, I have to face some problems will be facing. Otherwise, I have to steal your building. Like that, he will tell. Then that person will come and speak directly to the individual. Then,
how often has this happened to you?
Actually, I filed an RTI in Vellore regarding asking various pensions sanctioned by Lady Dasandar. During that time, and Lady Dasandar's husband came from Vellore to Chennai and threatened me. Then I filed a complaint to the commission, Tamil Nadu Information Commission. The Tamil Nadu Information Commission given direction to the DGP.
So you're saying basically that every time an RTI is filed in this city, the public officer who receives the RTI is calling the person mentioned saying such an RTI has been filed about you by such an individual. Please go handle it on your own.
Yeah. He only giving the information to them. Like that, there are several information. I asked about the last year I filed an RT application in one hospital in Velachery. This is total violations. He got the planning permission ground plus only 2 floors, but he constructed the basement plus 4 floors. That doctor who contacted a politician, and that politician had threatened me. Like that. I filed only on RTA only.
Come in here. Every time you receive threats, and I know that we were talking before the show that you've received a lot of threats as an activist yourself. If you approach the police, what sort of a reaction do you get from the police?
No, there's no action from the police side. See, the first problem is the PIO, as I told. We have to, if anything happens like this, like Parasmal, then we have to add the PIO into the state.
What do you mean by
the PIO is the main reason. See, they are providing all the, they are giving the Xerox copy to the concerned persons. So we have to add the PIO, APIO into the...
And none of the investigation that has happened so far in Parasmal's case has taken the public officer into questioning as to how did this RTI leak to the developer. No,
they have left. See,
yes.
Generally on the official, they leave out the entire official side, and this is not the first of the case. Right? There are several cases. Like last year, we had a honest agriculture engineer who committed suicide. Even in that case, it is all happening the background of a big recruitment scam in the state. But the recruitment scam itself was not investigated. If you look at the Avin scam that happened in the state 3 years back, the Avin scam, who was included? The person who adulterated the milk was included. But the officials who had the knowledge that every day it is getting adulterated, they used to test. So the officials were part of it. But they have not been included in the charge sheet.
So this is exactly like Vishnu Prasad was telling us, that the 6 henchmen who actually committed the murder have surrendered to the police.
Yes.
They've obviously not done
that
it.
we don't know whether they really committed or somebody is sent on their behalf.
Somebody has been sent on
that
their
we
behalf.
let it not go deep into that case. But the point is, who is behind them? Who has given the money, or who has paid them, or who has engaged them, should be first of all approached and identified and then inquired, put into the inquiry. See, in the Asian Center for Human Rights, they have recommended 4 points. If I am an RTI activist, if I feel that I have a threat, I should go and file a case. Immediately the case within 24 hours has to be filed, FIR has to be filed, then within the same day, the local magistrate has to give a protection. He has to give a direction to the concerned police officer to give protection. Then within 6 months, inquiry has to go, trial has to be completed, then guilty or innocent can be proved. If they are guilty, immediately the concerned department, like how he said, the information commissioner and the first appellate and the second appellate authority will come into the fold. They have to prove that they are not involved. Otherwise, automatically they come into the inquiry. So this has to happen. See, like how he said Avin, I am also again quoting one more thing. Maulivakam, what happened? So Ranganathan Street, what happened? Everything is sealed, and now it is happening in normal life. Everything is now normal. In Maulivakam case, only the builder has gone and served the sentence. What happened to the other people? So this has to be inquired.
So the problem is from the police upwards to the state government?
Could be. See, the point is very simple. A separate tribunal has to be
set up
for a tribunal, like how Human Rights Commission. There is a separate tribunal. How they treat the Domestic Violence Act, Women's Act, seeing all women's police station, like Dowry Act, there is a separate wing to be investigated. Like that, for this RTI activists also, the separate tribunal has to be there, and all the cases filed should be, see, if I am asking a question, the RT, that body should know what is my agenda, what is my objective, where I am going through, which department I am particular about. They should know my history also. If they know my history, if it is integrated, if it is in the portal.
Does the state have the political will to execute something like this state? Does this state government have the political will?
If their mind conceived, definitely nobody can stop it.
You're living in an ideal world, sir.
Yeah.
You're living in an ideal world where you are expecting a government and a state where RTI activists are dying on the streets. You're expecting such a sophisticated system to be brought in. I would like for this particular investigation to be conducted in the right spirit to begin with. And if you can tell us in Tamil if you want to, because we can understand. But my question is this: for people who are fighting right now against illegal construction, against corruption, which we realize is very rampant in the state.
Madam, this government does not need any transparency. For example, we asked Lokaya, the government said, no, we have already DHA, so we won't give. We asked the citizen charter. They said, no, they are already having a citizen charter, we are already preferred. Like that, we have filed the cases. The government does not need any transparency. They're clearly saying that. They're saying in the High Court itself. So, this government does not need any transparency. They don't want to take any action. Whatever activists, even murder, they does not care about them. This government is doing like that only.
You think this government does not care about its people?
Yeah. I filed in one request I filed. Number of babies are theft. So, number of babies are going theft.
Are going missing.
Going missing and like that. I requested Chief Minister file in one petition. Madam, please do a DNA test as soon as the child born, and also put the birth certificate and DNA test in a public domain, so that one day when the child is missed, he has been found. After doing the DNA test,
he can trace his parents.
Yeah, he can trace it down. We can solve the person. Like that we have got. This is rejected. And I filed another petition. Madam, you put in village maps in the website. The lot of encroachment is going on. Water bodies are encroaching. Please put it in public domain. It is also rejected. Like that is going on. The government does not.
See, this is we should remind our viewers here that illegal construction, without a doubt, without any sort of doubt right now, caused the flood in Chennai last year. It is caused purely from illegal construction on the water bodies. No reaction from the state government. No work has been done in the area of illegal construction. Why does the state government prefer illegal construction to legal construction?
Actually, they want the people to make. It has to be created as an என்ன சொல்றேன்னா நீங்களோ எங்களோட கூட்டாளிகளா ஆக. அதனால it has to be create a law and order ratio. If you want to demolish a building, it is create a law and order. So their work will be stopped. So they want the other people also to corrupt.
Beneficiaries.
Beneficiary.
Not only that,
mainly that RTI is for to bring the transparency, right?
Yes.
See, the commissioner is appointed from the intelligence department,
yes,
who worked to maintain the secrecy in the information. Now he is to reveal how it. See, the nature of work before, he was in intelligence. So he maintained secrecy, right? So now he is appointed as a commissioner of information commission. Then how he can reveal all the information?
What is your reaction to your state government right now? No. Does it have the political will to do good? You've got, I mean, this government has just come into power at this point. We have seen one term. Let's not talk about the previous term. Let's talk about the new term going forward. What is your expectation from this government?
They should appoint the commissioner who is well fit for this job. But they are appointing the commissioners who is not fit for this post. So first, the RTI Act, the system level correction is okay, but they have to appoint a proper person to a particular job.
Jayaram, is the problem of the state corruption or fear, or both? Is the problem in the state corruption? Is it fear, or is it both?
It's both. I mean, I would say, see, at one level, the state government goes overboard to actually protect the corrupt. You know, if you look at when you ask whether they have the political will to fight it. In fact, they go overboard to protect the corrupt.
To protect the criminals.
Correct. They came up with the government order saying that anyone who does corruption, anyone or any government officer on whom corruption charges are there, you require the permission of the vigilance commissioner in order to even investigate it. Right? This was a government order brought about by the chief secretary. The irony is that the vigilance commissioner is the chief secretary itself. He brings about a government order, right? So at one level they do this. At the other level, there is a lot of fear. Like even there are a lot of honest officials within the government system who are willing to bring out information, but they have absolutely no protection. That's what when Muthukumarasamy committed suicide, he was an honest officer, and we are seeing a series of honest officers who committed suicide. So there is absolutely no protection mechanism for many of these people. So be it Lokayukta, be it this quashing this government order, being whistleblowers, we don't have anything in the state at one level. On the other level, there is this personality cult, there is this strong top-down culture that has been built in Tamil Nadu. As you can see that, people even fear approaching the chief minister. People, officials who are honest even, they don't want to voice out. And
there's no benefit in voicing out at all.
Yes, exactly. I mean, even if you voice out, you are not going to reach the correct person. You are going to be, finally hounded about, and you will have to lose your job and everything. Right? So the combination of these two has brought the state to a real situation of anarchy, I should say. And the only way is citizens to ask questions. If you take the flood, even the flood, the CAG gave a report in 2014 very clearly saying that there are so much encroachment that you have to clear, and the government is the biggest encroacher. When they were widening the canal, they found the EB is the one who has been encroaching the canal.
What is the EB?
The electricity board.
Okay.
So 633 crores were spent for widening of all these canals in the last 5 years, and still the CAG came with a report. It was maladministered. It was not widened, and Chennai is going to get.
In 2014, the Madras High Court passed an order where it instructed the state government to deal with illegal constructions with an iron hand. It said you have to come down very hard on these criminals. You have to prosecute these criminals. You have to demolish illegal construction. Has anything happened since then?
Actually, this High Court is just saying that you have to take necessary action. Actually, number of persons have got even the constructed illegal buildings. They got the water connection, drainage connection, and the EB connection from the High Court itself. They are not looking at what is the reality in the ground. They are in the affidavit, they are filing stating that they have constructed as per the plan. But in the site, it has been violated. The officials also not saying, the public prosecutor also not saying, sir, he has constructed violated, so please don't give the water connection, please don't order like that. They are not at all saying. For example, in a Tiruvamur, nearly he is having a plot extent of 650 square feet only. He had constructed ground plus 4 floors. He went to the High Court and got the water connection, drainage connection, and EB supply. But as per the planning permission, he has to get a minimum 800 square feet you should have. But he does not have.
You're saying there are people in Chennai who build completely illegal constructions,
Yeah.
then approach the court, and the court basically rationalizes the whole thing and says, okay, fine, give you water, give you electricity, give you all the connections that you need.
Yeah, they're saying, but the officials who have been there, they are not saying, the public prosecutor is not saying, government advocate is not saying, he has constructed violations, he has constructed several floors. They are not at all, they are not mentioning. Yeah, on the day itself, now the High Court itself having a ground plus 11 floors there. They have not got a planning approval. They have not got approval from the air aviation also. There are 13 buildings, without the planning permission, they are constructed in the High Court campus itself. I filed an RTI asking about the building permission and what is the cost like that. The corporation said they does not have. PWD saying that we does not have. CMD saying that they does not have the information regarding the planning permission or what all the documents they have said.
The High Court of Chennai is building on its own without requiring any, it's complete impunity. No need for any permission from anybody.
Yeah, the PWD has given a reply that as per the High Court judge direction we have been constructed. So the system where we have it has started in the High Court itself. There are number of buildings are there, and firefighting also there is very less only. And without planning permission, approval and completion, there is not at all. Last year I filed that. I got the threaten from one advocate also, and not disclosed till now, but now I only disclosed. Why are you asking like that? I am working there as a clerk for 6 months. There, I found a number of buildings are there, and I taken number of photographic like that I have taken. I filed. This information has been informed to that advocate. He threatened me. Why are you asking that? You look your business. Don't look into the court like that.
Who did you send the RTI application to?
I filed an RTI application to the Corporation of Chennai and PWD and also CMD and also in High Court itself.
And these people have leaked the information to
the lawyer.
lawyer.
Yeah, they leaked the information. He told me that if you guys, what it is.
In Parasmal's case, it's very clear. He has been fighting all the years against illegal construction, against the illegal buildings. So, if you can you localize the case to CMDA. See, builders might be around 50, 60 odd builders, and you cannot ask everybody. At least what Mr. Parasmal was asking, on whose building and on which construction, he has been very particular. It can be obtained from the CMDA or from the nodal officer, information officer. But this provision is already there. But why are we not going to them?
Why are we not investigating
I wouldn't blame all the officers are corrupt. There are very honest officers in CMDA also. But at least because of other very few, dishonest people, the entire body is under scanner, is under doubt. Why should it be? Let it come to the public domain. So this kind of approach by an inquiry officer will easily, we can easily find the culprits.
The police here is corrupt as well. If investigations, and my question is very simple to all of you all, if investigations are not happening to the full extent, all of you just said that the first line of investigation is done, a lot of the evidence is buried, a lot of the evidence is not handed over, a lot of the evidence is not presented in court. Is the police in Chennai fundamentally corrupt?
See, I will tell you, Human Rights Commission is very powerful. If I simply utter a word Human Rights Commission, then everybody will shatter. At least they'll have a fear. Fear has to be evoked at the bureaucrat level also. So if, like Human Rights Commission, if there is a body, as a tribunal is being set up for this RTI Activist Protection Act, one body has to be there. So automatically these officers also will have a kind of fear because there is somebody above them is who is watching them.
But my question is, that's fine. In a system where the fundamental fabric of your government is corrupt, from the top to the bottom,
Not necessary.
how will a human rights
that is
commission
what,
then?
no, when you can do mistakes within four walls, but when you are in the open ground, how will you do that mistake? So at least the transparency can be established by a superpower, by a tribunal body who will have a vigilant eye on all these bureaucrats.
And a body driven by the central government?
Driven by the state government, another collector, but should be a non-political appointment.
Do you believe that's enough? Do you believe that's enough?
At least some initiative.
Appointed by the state government, that's
corruption cases, we have been continuously asking for a Lokayukta. I mean, where you have an independent selection body that will appoint the head of the Lokayukta, you should definitely have a Lokayukta to investigate most of the corruption cases, and you should have a statewide whistleblowers bill. Now the question is, I mean, it does take time. In Tamil Nadu, there are two things. One is institutions like the Lokayukta. The other is the police reforms itself. If you look at the police reforms, the Supreme Court has come out very clearly in 2007. After that, so many years, Tamil Nadu is the least complying state. One of the least complying states in the police.
Tamil Nadu has had a history of fake FIRs, of corruption within the police system.
I mean, you talk about FIRs. They don't even when you go as an organization, they don't even give a CSR. In Tamil Nadu, we have a system of CSR. They don't even take your complaint when you go and complain. Right? So this is the situation that we are in. There is no police complaints authority. If there is a problem with the police, you cannot complain to anyone. Whom do you go to? And these are the ones that are listed in the police reforms in 2007. And the state has continuously not talked about the police reforms. They have politically controlled the police. And I mean, I should quote an example. One day when we went into the intelligence office, the chief minister was going to her constituency on Sunday. We were going on Thursday. On Thursday, the entire police force was talking about how do we give protection to her for the Sunday event. The police is, the priority of the police itself is about giving bandobast to the chief minister, to the ministers and so on. And there is this orderly system on the other side where people go and work in the IPS officers' house and so on. So the whole priority of the police itself is completely misplaced. And that is why they have suggested a state security system commission in the police reforms. Unless that comes, unless you de-link this from the political setup, the law and order from the political setup, things are not going to improve. So police reforms, institutions like Lokayukta, these are...
So Vishnu's suggestion of a human rights commission in the state of Tamil Nadu, you're saying is not going to be enough?
See, Human Rights Commission, I filed a case because they didn't give me an FIR. I filed a case with the State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission has forwarded it to the police, asked the same police to inquire. The point is, they have asked, in fact, when they sent it to the police department gave the case to the Deputy Commissioner of Police on whom the complaint is there.
And what happened?
And he's supposed to investigate. Then we had to raise a huge hue and cry for the police joint commissioner to shift the case from that division to the other division. That's all, right? But then, even when I went to the police authority, he was all along saying he heard our case, but what he said was that how can we actually take action against our own police? That was the thing that he was talking about. Right? So, State Human Rights Commission.
See, I have two instances. See, first one, the RTI activist in the commission, the commissioners, they are treated as accused. They are not allowing to sit in front of the commissioner. We had a bad experience in the previous.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, but the RTI activist, who is our president in our IACM. So he didn't. The commissioner, he didn't allow the activist to sit in front of him. See,
during inquiry, he is an appellate. He is filing the inquiry. He is he is an appellate. Information Commissioner does not allow him to sit and talk or to say that.
Then how will you expect the protection for activists? They are not allowing to sit.
He was remanded because he sat down.
No, they are giving a disdained approach toward the RTI activist. That I don't disagree with them.
But that disdained approach is obviously trickling down from somewhere. There is somebody in the higher, seats of government who is condoning this sort of behavior. Because otherwise,
they wanted to
the
bring
spirit of a government has to come from somewhere.
That is what we hope so. We are also praying for that. That spirit and the political will has to come from the chief.
I mean, the only solution to this is, see, when you talked about the citizens movement again, That is again a big problem in Tamil Nadu. As you see, we do not have a vibrant citizens movement because initially itself they try and oppress it. Like in Delhi, you will see that when Rohit Vemula issue happened or something, you will see 500 and thousands of people on the road.
Yes.
Here,
people voice their opinions.
You are just not even allowed. That's fear psychosis because the moment you get to the road, they detain you, they arrest you. So basically there is a fear psychosis among citizens as well that they do not want to come out. So unless you create a vibrant civil society culture.
For being an activist yourself, haven't you?
Huh?
You've been detained and arrested by the government by being
then
an activist.
Then we removed an illegal banners because for illegal banners we entered complaint to the police.
Illegal banners of who? Who's illegal?
Of the chief minister.
Of the chief minister.
Of the chief minister. See, there are set rules by the same government. There is a government order saying that banners should be placed only 10 meters apart. You can't have banners at junctions. There are so many rules. And it violated all the rules pretty much. And when we went and complained to the police, police said we will not take the complaint. You go and do whatever you want. And then we went and took the illegal banners ourselves. The ADMK Gundas came and attacked us. The entire thing has been captured on video. They arrested us, remanded for 8 days. We gave the video evidence. They did not even file a CSR on those people. The Deputy Commissioner of Mylapore refused to accept the complaint. The Inspector of Mylapore refused to accept the complaint. And this was the situation that is happening in the state. So the police didn't want to act as per law. And what else do you say? They are.
So I want to ask you this. After the case of Parasmal, the one thing to receive death threats, there's another thing to see a colleague, a fellow RTI activist, murdered in such a gruesome manner, in such a horrible manner in front of you. Do you continue to do activism? Has your family, told you to stop? Is there, why are you still doing it?
Actually, madam, when I start doing it, first I told to my parents and my wife, so that I'm doing that. I'm going to die one day. So I'm doing that. Don't suffer. Because I'm going in and depth. I'm not act like others. I'm going to act against the chief minister like that and discriminate like that.
Why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Because I want to serve my country. I want to serve my people. So I am working. I'm ready to death. If you're there,
but this government is not giving protection for this kind of people.
What? Any government, the AICC or DMK, both the government are not giving. They want to rob our wealth. They are not giving any powers to the people.
The whole country is listening to you right now. You're on national television. What message do you want to give the rest of the country about what's happening in your state?
We need transparency. What the government doing, what the expenditure is doing. We want to ask the government. We want the government to ask, what do you want? We need, and other thing, we need a protection to our people. Nowadays, most of the cars are using the black film. It has been banned by the Supreme Court. Yes. But in Tamil Nadu, all politicians, most of the politicians, are very few only, are using white glass. Most of them are using only black band strip like that. Even Madras High Court judges are not using. So such illegals and all type of going on. So this government and previous government was not at all take care about the Tamil Nadu peoples.
It is not only politicians.
Yes.
Any common man, even an industrialist or a businessman, even a tailor, whoever it is wrong. Please do not localize only with politicians. Because some, real service-minded politicians are also there.
But one politician will be there behind them.
Why you want to talk about only politicians?
A tailor is not having a car, but he has a car, he remove it.
You do not know about a tailor who has a car, but there are people who have
you have like a new look like that, they have.
So, but generally I am telling, everybody, irrespective of their category or what they serve or what they do, people, they misuse the law, they don't follow the law. Let us not generalize, or localize the issue only.
I don't want to see that.
Most of the persons are using that.
Students also they are using that kind of thing. But if you are asking the question,
it can be an industrialist. It can be.
I don't want to get fixated. I don't want to get fixated.
It can be a bureaucrat.
Sir, you see in a secret post.
I don't want to get fixated on cars.
All are black filmed.
I don't want to get I don't want to get fixated on cars and waste time on this show. But I think here, what we're doing right now, we've hit upon a very, very raw nerve, which is the problem with the politicians? Is the problem of corruption, if the fabric of corruption in this entire state has seeped so deeply into the police, into the judiciary, into the public service officers. Is it just the politicians? Is that where the message of corruption is coming from? Does Tamil Nadu need a completely different overhaul into its system? Is the problem in the politician, or is the problem in the system?
See, if you're asking any question against official, okay, they will give some information. It may be relevant or irrelevant. They will give some information, okay. And if you are asking any question regarding any politicians or any builders like that, contractors like this, then you will get the major threat. Okay. So if any matter involves with the politician, then
so politicians and builders are the most powerful people in this city. What gives politicians and builders the right to be above the law?
Most of the politicians are doing the real estate and
so the builders become politicians.
Yeah, become politicians.
Politicians and builders are the same thing, Vishnu Prasad?
From 1967, it is not our government. You know, this state was ruled by Kamraj. When he died, he had only a few tens or 20s in his pocket. See, that is the reality. Whatever is said and done, either you like it or not, you cannot generalize politicians as politicians. You know, we are congressmen. We are always have an edge over other party people. But here after 67, it is only the other Dravidian parties who are ruling alternative. Probably this must have evolved.
I mean, are you giving yourself a clean chit because you've never won the state elections?
But part of the same system.
Yeah.
Aligned always with the DMK or the ADMK.
See, what we can do is we can have a check over the existing government.
No, but see, in all fairness, even if you have not formed the government, sitting in opposition, you have a responsibility.
Definitely.
What have you done in opposition?
We are asking questions. We are fighting in the assembly. We are fighting in the parliament. We can do that. As of now, whatever powers are given, vested people have, you know, dependent on us and given the power. We can only.
They are fighting for chairs.
They're fighting for chairs.
Have
you seen
the whole? I want to say that
I give respect to all RTI activists.
Judges only the most corrupt. As per the Judges High Court Act, they are having only 10,000 units they have to pay and then they get reimbursement. But in Chennai High Court, they are totally paid by the government only. And as per the High Court judges' contract rules, there is no provision of providing a gardener, mazdoor and another person. They have been having. So they are enjoying and they are keeping silent against the politicians, against the ruling party.
Against RTI activists, I give respect to everybody. I look at them in a single manner, okay? But some RTI activists, there is a perception also. I am not saying it is a general opinion from the common man as well as from the bureaucrats and you call politicians. These RTI activists misuse the rule. Sometimes they misuse the rule for their vested interest.
Is that fair? RTI activists?
I am not generalizing the term.
RTI activists, what is been RTI? How many years he has to experience?
Generalizing the term.
I know one person.
I do give respect.
I know one person who filing an RTI, but he is a builder. He used to build an illegal construction. If the house owner does not pay the amount means, he will file an RTI. Like that, there is one person in KK Nagar. He built several buildings in Bogabet like that.
There?
But
I asked a question.
See, the RTI is not to threaten anything, okay? So it is
transparency. We are not talking about honest politicians. There are some honest politicians. Always. There are some people who may misuse RTA. So all that is fine. But we are talking about the larger majority. The larger majority. We have to understand that the larger majority of the politicians.
Even we are also working for the political change.
That is something that we need to keep.
Let's focus on the current state government, because this is the state government that we're dealing with now for the next few years. I want to know how we reached a point, and this is just like Vishnu and I were talking before the show. He said nothing can be solved overnight. My point is that we have not arrived at this point overnight either. We have deteriorated in this city over a period of years to reach where we are today. What happened in this city to make politicians and builders, whether they're the same thing or two different sets of people, the most powerful people in this city? What gives
politicians, bureaucrats and builders?
Politicians, bureaucrats and builders. They're above the law. We have lost a colleague. The investigation is inadequate. The police is not releasing evidence. We're not getting the answers that we want. The state government is not responding to us. The police is not responding to us. We're a national media that has come down to look for answers. We're not getting any answers in this state. What gives these people the right to be above any sort of questioning? How did we reach this point? Is it this particular political party, or are they all like this?
See, what we have to see is over the years, as you say, this has deteriorated a lot. And primarily, as I told you earlier, it is this cult, kind of thing that has been promoted over the years again and again that has resulted in this situation. A counselor...
It's politics of individuals.
Politics of individuals. A counselor and MLA, it's strongly hierarchical. In Tamil Nadu, it has been made strongly hierarchical, feudal. And so, there is no questioning. A councillor cannot question a MLA. MLA cannot question a chief minister. That is the state it has got into today. And if you have to look at solutions, as you say, it is only overhauling this whole system of the political system, and it is going to take time. But unless citizens come out, as I told you earlier, like in Delhi and other places, here we are not seeing citizens coming out on the streets. And it is going to take time, and there is a fear psychosis. We have to get out of it. We saw the floods. We had hundreds of volunteers on the streets,
who came out into the streets to help people.
But today, the same citizens, unless they come out and question the water bodies, the construction on the water bodies, the illegitimate constructions on the water bodies, why they are not desilting all these canals, the flood is going to repeat again. So, unless citizens come and ask the questions, the situation is not good.
In the recent elections, what happened? It was only the common man, it was only the youths of Chennai who were on the road when there is a flood, who gave their helping hand. It was a major contribution was them, the common man and the youths. But during the election, only 50% of them only voted. Totally. Total polling is only 50%.
I'm going to ask you a slightly tough question. Now, we watch elections happen across the country. Specifically in Tamil Nadu, elections are almost it's a mela, where votes are bought with computers and with saris and with money and with jewelry and God knows what else is handed out by political parties. And we know each voter collects from various political parties and pledges their alliance to various political parties. The basic system is corrupt. And I'm asking you because you function in this system. The basic system is corrupt.
We are deeply wounded by this culture. I only wish it has to start from every citizen of the state that this culture has to be changed.
Did you offer anything to voters in your constituency?
No, not at all. We offered our services. We gave them our promises. And they voted.
Are you convinced?
See, sorry, we are in my constitution there is no Congress party. It is a DMK and ADMK, so I does not know about them. But in many places, in slum area, they distributed by the way of giving hand fans or some other things like that. They have been distributed. But none of the person is coming then saying that he has given like that. He has given amount. Not even single person is coming out. But several crores rupees have been given to the voters.
You leave the general elections where a common man, even an uneducated might be involved. But even in a club election or a cricket association election, this kind of this culture is happening very widely, very openly. So
in Lawless Association, they are giving the books, they are giving the hot or liquor, like that they have been distributing. Even all a learned person, educated person, like that, they are accepting.
It's all, the corruption has now seeped into every office of the state.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it. Yeah. But even this money giving thing, right? It has always been there in the state, even from the times of people used to say from the 60s and 70s, right? But it has gone to such a level where, crores of money. If you take a by-election particularly, right, when we had the state government, it is estimated some 30 to 40 crores are spent for one by-election. So that is the amount of money that is being put in the election, number one. Number two, on the other side, we don't even think that voters are actually swayed by the money. They do get the money, but they vote for whom they want. That has always been the case with Tamil Nadu. That is why, otherwise, you would have always seen the ruling party coming back to power. Tamil Nadu is the only state where, except for this time, it has always been alternating.
Because the ruling party has the ability to distribute more.
Yes, definitely, because they have the machinery. They all generally distribute more. But it has always been the other party which came to power, except for this time, right? So, whenever it's a by-election, the ruling party will win. Because people know that you vote for a ruling party so that you will get schemes when there is a by-election, right? So, people are not fools in the first place. And there is this concerted effort to say that, you know, it's also the citizens who are part of this, it is the citizens who are culprits. No, we have rule-based systems where, you know, the same person when he goes to the US, we don't see him speaking, we see him following the rules, right? So it is not up to the citizens or something, it is actually up to the system. It is actually up to the kind of laws and institutions that you bring about to make sure if there is someone who makes a mistake, he is punished. And today, we do not have any system that punishes the people who does the wrong thing, and this gives a lot of confidence. There is a lot of confidence right from the chief minister, right from the chief minister, as we have seen years of the case running for years now, and right from the chief minister to everyone in this whole system, they know that they can get away doing wrong, and unless you change this with
the people won't change. For example, I'm saying there are nearly 25 lakhs pensions are there. Old age pension, physical handicap pension, like that. So 25 lakhs people are there, but they are saying that he does not have any son or daughter or 5 lakhs or 5,000 rupees worth of property like that. But when you see that, we have taken a sample, 3 states we have taken. On that 3 states, their pensioners are government servant who has been retired as a government servant, and another person who is getting a family pension and who is getting nearly 40,000 rupees as a rent.
So we're running out of time on this conversation. One thing is for sure that the people of Chennai, the average citizen of Chennai, especially the ones who came out and helped during the floods, need to come out right now and stand with J Parasmal and say that we will stand with our RTI activists. We will demand action. We will not allow this death to go in vain. But on the other hand, I want each of you right now to address your state government directly on this show and give them the message. Give them the message directly, because they will be watching this show. Tell them right now, as an RTI activist, as a whistleblower, the fact that you said because you love your country you're not going to stop. What message do you have for your chief minister?
First one, in all other states, they are putting all the information in the website, Information Commission website. In the Tamil Nadu government, they are not giving all the information in the website. First, they should bring transparency. Then second thing, they should give the proper protection to the RTI activists. See, they should come under the Whistleblower Act. So they should give the proper protection. And third thing, they should spread the awareness among the common people. So these are the information I want to.
A Whistleblower Act to protect RTI activists?
Yes, so the Whistleblowers Act is there in the central government, but it's not there in the state government right now. But yeah, apart from that, police reforms is one of the main things. Lokayukta is something that this government has promised before the election in its manifesto. So they should bring the Lokayukta in place. And if people have to believe this government is going to do anything for transparency, they have to show it. Today, they are there to only cover the corrupt people, and if at all change has to come, they should come up with these institutions of Lokayukta, whistleblowers, police reforms, and even the infrastructure for the judiciary that is required, that the state government has not done. There are so many things that they have to do.
Actually, the Tamil Nadu government is not at all having any transparency. Even if you ask about the expenses about the security like that, they are refusing to give. So they must, all the expenses should be in public domain. And another thing, the number of violations, building construction violation, like that details has to be published in the public domain. And they have to put in village maps of nearly 18,000 villages are there. It is already updated and it has been scanned, it is already available in soft copy. It has to be published in a public domain. And to find a missing child, the government to take a severe action to put the DNA test and the mother's Aadhaar number in the birth certificate to avoid the missing of child or stealing the child like that.
And this information is mandated by Section 4 of the RTA, whatever transparency that is.
There's corruption on every level at this point, and there's an important call out to the state government here to take this more seriously. Vishnu?
Definitely. See, for example, it is not only the state government. Central government under Section 27 Part 2, state government under 27 Part F, they both are entitled to give the new law, frame a new law to execute this scheme very effectively. So it is not only the state government. One point I would like to make for conclusion. See, there is an evidence act in narcotics, in income tax, and in customs. The informers are being protected because there the governments are getting benefited. But here, RTI activists are being exposed. So, unless or until there is a political will, from the top to bottom, it is impossible to correct this. So, we only wish and pray that both the central government and the state government, in accordance with the law, in coordination, for giving this RTI a better performance and a better fruit giving.
The state government at this point in the state of Tamil Nadu has to come out and show its intention. Show that you stand on the side of the people who are fighting for the law. Show that you are actually anti-corruption. Show that you are actually pro-people. We make this pledge here on Magicbricks Now, and I make this pledge to all of you on this panel, that we will not let this go. As far as we are concerned, politicians and developers are not above the law. We will not stand by while incidents like this happen and go uninvestigated. We will push until we get answers from the state government and from the police force, and we will push the state government to bring in a Whistleblowers Act that protects the RTI activists. We will demand answers from the state government of Tamil Nadu. And for the citizens of Chennai who are watching, I beseech you to come forward and make your voices heard. You can get in touch with us. Our contact details are on your screen. You can get in touch with us. Let us know if you want to voice your opinion. Let us know if you want to join this campaign, because the more we are in numbers, the stronger our voice will be, and the higher up it will reach in the government. That's a wrap on Urban Debates tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank our panelists for joining us and our viewers for being part of our campaign. Stay with Magicbricks Now.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.